Hey, this is welcome to 3 and Out with Jason and Kevin. I'm Jason. That's Kevin. We are on YouTube on the Orange and Black Insider. It's us. It's Anthony and John over at OBI. And then on the Believe Network is where you can find the audio side. And it's us. It's OBI, which is Anthony and John. It's Matt and Willie No Ball. And then it's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. Great stuff there. The channel's called Believe in Cincy, BLEAV. It's part of the Believe Network. Update your RSS feeds and then subscribe, like, and then on YouTube again, Orange and Black Insider. Check it out. The Eagles game, they lost. They had a chance to even it up. They didn't. They're 3-5. I know I saw someone say that they have a better chance at a top 10 pick than getting into the playoffs, which does not surprise me at 3-5 heading into week 9. But we're going to be positive.
I think we're currently drafting 11, if I remember right.
Okay. We're going to be positive today. Today, we're going to be positive.
We're going to say Burrow says that he thinks they can win 7 out of 9. That the path is not
the path is not yet shut. Right.
Yeah. We were talking about it. There's a way.
Yeah.
A couple changes need to be made. We're going to go over the schedule a little bit. If they go 7 out of 9, if they win 7 out of 9, this is kind of how we think they need to do it. First off, some changes need to get made.
Yes.
I'm going to throw it to you, Jason, here in just a second. But they need to make changes offensively and defensively. They need to give up a little bit on a few players, unfortunately. Yoshi's been all but invisible. And Burton has looked like he might turn into something. You have to roll those dice. You got to start giving Burton the majority of Yoshi snaps because you're not going to get 7 out of 9 with this kind of start by being conservative.
No. Right.
You also need to target Gesicki a lot more. Again, those are going to be Yoshi snaps. Put them in the slot. Hopefully the O-line can shore up a little bit. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And then defensively, a lot of things got to change. Jason, you got any ideas about what you need to see change?
Yes. I think that one of the biggest ones, they have to be able to pressure the quarterback. And we saw this against the Eagles game, is Jalen Hurts just sat in the pocket for a millennia before he could find someone downfield. I don't care how talented the defensive backs are. You cannot keep people blanketed. You just can't if you're not going to be able to pressure the quarterback. So if they can't do it with their front four, then I would like to see Lou dial up some pressure, start sending some extra guys, do something.
That was going to be my question then, because you look at this roster and you can see where the pressure should come from.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think Rankins needs to step up. He needs to do what he was paid to do. If it doesn't come from there, I'm not certain where it comes from, except for a shift in defensive philosophy. We need a couple exotic blitzes. I need to see Mike Hilton in there. I would like to see Logan Wilson or Pratt even take a couple tries at it.
Sure.
I'm not certain that it's in the cards, but it needs to be.
Yeah.
Because they need to make dramatic shifts starting right now.
I agree. I mean, I think Rankins getting pressure up the middle would be outstanding. I honestly think the best thing that could happen is either Sam Hubbard de-age himself, or Miles Murphy figure it out. Put Miles Murphy in, he's on passing downs, and he just starts to figure it out. And if he can't, then we're talking about a first-round dud. But we're being positive. We're being positive today.
Well, that's why I didn't even bring up Murphy, really. Because we're talking about the realistic way to get there. And Murphy isn't it. I don't know if he's going to hit his stride. He has not shown me anything that makes me think this is going to be his year. I don't think Sam Hubbard can get younger. I don't think Osai is going to suddenly hit in his 20th year of the Bengals, it feels like. I think if we're going to pressure, it has to be a scheme change. I think that pressure has to come from Lou Anarumo. Hopefully they see that, but that would be the method. If they're going to get that pressure, they also need to be able to trust the backfield a little bit more. And that brings me to my second issue. Cam Taylor-Britt needs to figure out whatever the hell is going on with Cam Taylor-Britt. He has regressed in almost every way. I don't know This is so the opposite of the arc everyone projected him on. We were all talking about like this could be the year he may be a true number one.
Right.
And he looks worse this year than he did last year.
He looks
Now,
worse
I am
this
being
year than when
positive because he has the talent. He has the talent to be that.
Oh, yeah.
And he needs to figure it out.
He looks worse this year than he did in parts of his rookie year when he was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks bad. He does. But like you said, we know he can do it because he has done it. So something, I don't know if it's a coaching thing or a scheme change where it's taken him out of some comfort zone he had earlier. But you're right. I mean, they need to figure it out. I think that especially when Dax Hill went down, everyone kind of looked to Cam Taylor-Britt and said, "Hey, man, you're the big dog now." Like Mike Hilton is a cornerback, but I see him more as almost a linebacker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not like an outside corner. And Cam Taylor-Britt should be the leader in the room. You know, he should be. And he's just playing terribly. But we're being positive. We're being positive. All right. It's a lot of stuff needs to change. If what we're going to say has to happen, for that to happen, things have to change, and they have to change now. You want to look at the schedule?
Yeah, let's look at the schedule. Because I was kind of looking at it before we started recording. I have some thoughts. Just to go over it real quick, where the schedule from here to the end of the season is Raiders, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers, Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers again.
Yep.
There are a few games in there that jump out to me as if we're going to win 7, we have to win, in my opinion, 5 of those games. We have to win them.
Okay.
And let's go through the schedule a little bit. The Raiders.
Yeah, this is a
must-win game. And it really is. I feel like we've been throwing around the term must-win game. If we lose to the Raiders, we are out of the playoffs. That is my real opinion. We are out of the playoffs, so we lose to the Raiders.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So the Raiders is a must-win game, and we can win it. We really can.
Yeah, they should. They should. Even with losing to the Eagles last week, they're favored by 7.5 at home. I mean, they should. They're a better team, better quarterback, better receivers, better everything. And the Raiders are a team that have sold their best assets, other than Max Crosby. You know, they got rid of Devontae Adams. And, I mean, you can tell they're just like, hey, we're in it for next year now. Not to say they're not dangerous. Every NFL team is dangerous, you know, any given Sunday kind of thing. But, yeah, if they lose this game, it's over. You pack your bags, you know, whatever. Focus on next year. So, yeah,
join us next Thursday for a mock draft.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, must-win game. So that moves us to Baltimore. And I mean, it's at Baltimore. Yes. They lost here. Baltimore is a good team. And I'm not saying it's impossible for them to win, because it's not. But I don't see them winning this game. I don't see them beating Baltimore because, So let's go ahead and just move on. So that's 1-1 when they need to go 7-2. So they only have one more loss to play around with.
Yes.
So after Baltimore, they head to LA to play the Chargers.
Yes.
I would group this in
another
as
must-win game as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. Yep. They're pretty good in LA. They're pretty good out in they're pretty good in LA necessarily. The only loss they have, I think, in the Taylor area is the Super Bowl. But the Chargers are underwhelming. You know, another one of those teams that we thought would be better than they are. We have a better quarterback. We have better everything. I mean, we're healthier, everything. So, again, must win. If they lose that game, unless they beat the Ravens, the season's over. You would agree with that, right?
I would, yes.
Yeah.
I think in the end, we're going to narrow this down to a few games that are going to be like the deciders of the season.
Yeah.
But then we move on to the Steelers.
Yep.
Steelers.
Home against the Steelers. Yes.
Steelers are a bad team that is outplaying all of their talent level, and they're a division rival.
Yeah.
I think we're going to end up splitting with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Just because it's the nature of the rivalry. So I'm going to go ahead and get down a win
at home
and a loss on the road.
Okay.
So now we have 2 losses.
Yeah, that's it. No more.
Yeah, that's it. But good news, right? If we're being positive, the next 3 games are Cowboys, Titans, and Browns.
Right.
These are winnable games.
The
Cowboys look like a shell of what we thought they could be.
Yep.
The Titans are awful.
They're
just
bad. Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Yep.
And the Browns are the Browns. These are some of the lower ranked teams currently right now in the NFL. They're ranked 21, 31, and 27. If we can't win these 3 games, there's just no hope.
I agree.
But we can. We can.
Yes, they should. I think the toughest one, well, for me, for Pittsburgh again. So I think they will win at home. Pittsburgh's got such a great defense. They play such great defense. Yes. They're so well coached. And as long as Russell Wilson doesn't just screw up, they're going to be tough to beat. But they don't have the weapons that we have in offense. We should have a more explosive offense. It's just, can you give Burrow time? So I do think that they'll win that game at home. The next one at Dallas, I think, is the biggest hurdle for them in this slate of 3 weeks. Yes. Partially because Dallas has explosive players on offense and they can put up a lot of points. I don't know if they will. But they're at home on Monday night, and any time that you're at home on a primetime game is just tough. It's it's an awesome atmosphere. It's tough to go into those atmospheres and win on the road. Especially if the home team is an underdog. Home underdog Monday Night Football games, they win a lot of times. But yeah, they win that one at Tennessee. I think that's a win. I think they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. And then Cleveland. Jameis Winston scares me more than Deshaun Watson did, but not enough with the weapons that they have. I mean, not enough to really worry me that much. I mean, at this point in the season, it'll be pretty clear about who's looking at like the number 1 overall pick. You know what I mean? And Cleveland's,
and I think the Browns are going to be in the running. I fully expect the Browns to be trying to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll try to lose, but I think yeah, I do. At this point in the season, I think it comes pretty clear, you know what I mean, where people are going to fall, and we already know where the Browns are headed. So,
Titans will be in that same category as well.
Yeah.
I've never seen a coach hate a quarterback more than Callahan hates Will Levis. It's some of the funnier content that the NFL is creating this year. I would not be surprised if the Titans were almost actively tanking by that point, with just the hope that that Callahan gets to fire Will Levis at the start of next season.
Yeah, he wants his own guy for sure. So the next game is one that I would have said at the beginning of the season, like, oh, I'm not worried about this at all. But Denver's tough. Tough. Sean Payton has done well. Bo Nix just lit it up last week, and I don't know. They're in the AFC West. They're not going to get. They're not going to win the division. That's going to go to the Chiefs, but they will be eyeing a wild card spot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think at this point in the season, if things go the way that you and I are hoping they go, like we're just predicting right here, that wild card spot could be the Bengals. You know what I mean? They could be fighting here for a number 7 seed or number 6 seed or whatever. This is the one that actually kind of scared me more than the Steelers did. But they're at home. You know what? That doesn't matter this year. That just hasn't mattered. That's the thing. That's the thing that worried me. The thing that worries me is that they're going to get down to it. You know what I mean? And they're going to have one win to give or one loss. You know what I mean? That they can either give to the Broncos or they can give to the Steelers, and they're going to give both of them a loss. But we're being positive. I'm going to say this one. I say the Bengals win this one, and I think it's just going to be based on experience in the NFL for quarterbacks. Joe Burrow versus a rookie quarterback. I don't care how good that we saw it earlier this year with Jaden Daniels, but we're being positive. Yeah. I don't know what to say. We'll win. That if they're going to do it, here's what I think. If they're going to do it, they have to win that game because I don't think you're going to sweep Pittsburgh. I just don't. I agree with you. I think Pittsburgh's defense is good enough and their offense is efficient enough, and they know how to play the Bengals. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I agree. I think that the Bengals, the only way they get in, split with Pittsburgh, and you got to beat everyone else except for the Raider. Ravens. Sorry. Lose to the Ravens, split with Pittsburgh. But yeah, they do that. They finish 10-7. I think there's a pretty good chance they end up as the number 7 seed or number 6 seed, and then go on the road and see if you can make some magic. Before the New York Giants went on to defeat the undefeated New England Patriots in the Super Bowl in, what is that, 2008 now? 2008, I think, 2007. When they went in as a wild card spot, that was one of those teams I was like, no, they're not good. Eli Manning's a mouth-breathing dummy. They can't do anything. And they just went off. So it's not impossible.
No, it's not. And we'll have a better idea. If they run this gauntlet,
yes,
and they make it to the playoffs, it will be a team who has earned their position in the playoffs.
For sure.
I mean, it's not the hardest schedule, but they will have risen to the challenge. To summarize, based off like what we were talking about, would you agree? Here's what I've got. The Raiders, one Steelers game, Cowboys, Titans, Browns. That's 5 must-win games.
Yes. Yeah. Those are 5 wins they cannot drop. Yep.
They can't.
And then,
the odds that they make it the playoffs are, in my opinion, drop to almost single digits.
Yeah.
Past that, they have the Ravens, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Steelers.
They got to find a way to win 2 of those.
They got to find a way to win 2 of those.
Yep.
If they go in there and they beat the Ravens,
throw
all this out the window.
A whole different discussion.
What I mean?
If they go back in there and beat the Ravens, we're talking about them potentially winning the division. I mean, really, we are.
We are.
So,
and we'll have that discussion when the time comes. But if we're being realistic, the path to the playoffs is
wild card.
Those wins, fighting for the wild card, and we need 2 wins out of the Broncos, Steelers, Chargers, and Ravens.
Yep,
that's it.
I totally agree with that. I agree with that, and it's not daunting. We've seen the team put up close to 40 points or whatever. I mean, we know they can do it.
We are.
Are they going to
especially with Burrow playing the way Burrow is playing? That is the one thing that this team gets frustrating, and sometimes this year it's been hard to find the hope. Yeah. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL right now, and that's almost hard to debate. The numbers, the efficiency is insane, and the things he's doing with a team full of holes. He should be the MVP this year, but you can't get there without the wins. Right. That's the hope. That's the hope. Him and Jamar Chase, they're both having just
outstanding seasons.
I mean, career years.
Yep. Outstanding
that duo can get us to the playoffs.
Yep.
I'm not certain they will. Burrow says they need 7 wins. Here's your 7 wins.
Yep. We're being positive.
What do you think, Jason? You think we're going to do it?
No.
I don't either.
You know what?
We'll know soon enough. I think as long as we come out swinging and we don't get destroyed by the Ravens, then we'll have a win under our belt and a good loss under our belt. A good loss, a yardstick style loss.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And we'll have a much better idea of where we're at.
But I think I'll have a better idea after this weekend. I want to see a belt to ass game. You know what I mean? I want to see the Bengals come home and say, hey, enough is enough, and just rip the Raiders a new one, because they should. They should absolutely destroy this team.
They should.
And I want to see that. I want to see a big win, momentum going into Baltimore week. That's what I want to say. I don't want to see, well, we beat the Raiders 17-14. You know what I mean? We didn't score in the second half. I don't want that anymore. It's time, because if you do that, I have no hope that you'll get a good loss against Baltimore. You just go get blown out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this weekend, I want to see a good win, a big, aggressive win. And then we'll see.
We'll see. We'll be back to talk about it. I think after this, we'll have. See, this is the thing. And this is the last I have to say about it. I'm about to say, after this week, we'll have a better idea who this team is. We have an idea who this team is.
Yeah.
But the season's not over. It's not over till it's over. So let's go fight. Let's go play the Raiders. And if we lose, it's probably over.
If they lose, it is over.
I think Yeah, I don't think we're going to lose to the Raiders. I think we're going to be right back here with no real idea about whether or not we're going to make this playoff push, probably until after the Ravens game. But the Raiders should at least be fun football. I'm trying to find the joy, man. I'm trying to like relax and just have fun.
Yeah,
on watching the
Bengals
I know. Again.
I know. I'm just
being good is so much more pressure.
It is.
I enjoyed myself more when like Andy Dalton was leading the team to 8-8 than I have this year, just because there was zero pressure. 8-8, that was a great record. We loved that record.
Can you imagine if this season if the first 8 games of this season, if it happened in 1997, we would be burning downtown. We just light everything on fire out of celebration of winning 3 games in the first half of the season. You know what I mean? That's how excited everyone would be. But we're being positive. We're being positive.
You're not wrong.
All right. You got anything else, man?
Nope. That is it. We'll be back next week to talk about the Raiders and see if there's anything we can take away from the game. All
right. Well, once again, we on YouTube, we're on the Orange and Black Insider. It's us and it's OBI, which is John and Anthony. And then we're on the Believe Network, BLEAV Network, Believe in Cincy. It's us, it's OBI, it's Matt and Willie No Ball, and then it's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. Just great Bengals content pretty much every day. So like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff, and we will see you next week. Who day?